Hi there, my name is Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here with me today, and we have something really exciting to do. We're going to be playing with a new eyeshadow palette, and the one we're going to be playing with specifically is the new Natasha Denona Pastel palette. I am so excited to play with this. I was so excited for this launch, so if you're interested in seeing a first impression from me with this bad boy, then just keep on watching. Okay, before we get into things, let me just address the elephant in the room. I have been gone for like the past month, I think. I may have posted a few videos at the very beginning of March, but I've been MIA. I started a new job, my schedule's been crazy, and just trying to develop a new routine has been way more difficult than I thought it was ever going to be. So please excuse the absence. I think I've got a good handle on things now. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just get right into things. So the Natasha Denona Pastel eyeshadow palette, it comes in a little unicorn like this that matches the actual palette itself. It says that it has a 24-month shelf life, and where is it made? In Italy. So that's pretty standard with all of her palettes. This one retails for $65. It is a midi palette if you aren't aware, and I'll go ahead and show you guys what she looks like on the inside. So this is the new Natasha Denona Pastel palette in the midi size, and of course with this you can pop these out and rearrange them just like her regular size 5-pan palettes and her big ones and the rest of these midi palettes as well. I love that you can kind of like mix and match and create your own custom palette if you so choose. I feel like that's such a great feature of her brand that really sets her apart from anyone else, and I think that's kind of why I'm so attracted to it. It's like you can personalize it so much. Alright, so we have a couple of different formulas in this palette, and we have a cream to powder formula, we have a duochrome formula in this palette, a shimmer metallic, maybe that's what it's called, I'm not entirely sure. And then we have a duochrome shimmer in this palette as well. A creamy matte, pretty standard, a regular metallic. So that's pretty much the rundown for it. Before we get into any application, we're going to go into some swatches, and I'm going to kind of give you a brief overview of like what I think of the shades on initial first impression of swatching, how they feel, how I think they are performing swatch-wise. But you know, at the end of the day, a swatch isn't the same as on your eye application. They perform different. Viseart is famous for swatching horribly, and they perform different on the eyes, and that very well could be the instance here as well. So go ahead and enjoy the swatches, and then I will see you back to play with this new palette. Alright, we are here to do some swatches of the Natasha Denona Pastel palette. These are the shades. This is what it looks like. Let's go ahead and get into swatching them. Alright, the first shade that we're going to be swatching is Tool, and that is a cream to powder shade. It is a really light pink color. That's one pass. I'm going in for another pass just to build the color up a little bit to see what we can get. And that's what it looks like. The next shade is going to be Illusion, and Illusion is a duochrome shade. It's so pretty. It is a pale white with a pinky shift. Very, very fitting for this palette in my opinion. Then we have Mint Frost, which is actually a repeat shade for Natasha Denona. This was in the Big Tropic and the Mini Tropic palette. There is that shade right there. It is a metallic shade. And then the next shade we're going to swatch is another cream to powder shade called Bora. And this is that shade right here. It is a stunning purple shade. Let's go ahead and build that up just a tad more. The next shade that we're going to be swatching is called Dainty, and Dainty is a duochrome shimmer. It's kind of like I got a silver shift to it, a pink shade with a silver shift, very pretty. I could totally see myself using that all over the lid. Then up next we have the color Brisk, which is a creamy matte, And this one's not swatching as impressively. Let's go ahead and go in for another pass. It's a very soft and smooth in the pan, and it's kind of like a little crumbly, just a touch crumbly. But there is that shade swatched out. It's probably the least impressive shade so far. Then we have Adriatic, which is another duochrome shade, and it's another green. I do see the shift. It's kind of like a golden shift. Very interesting shifts on these multi-chromes in here, or duochromes. Then we have another duochrome, which is Starlit. It's this stunning red shade. Let me go ahead and build that up. It's like this golden pinky. Alright, following that we have the shade Bellini, which is a creamy matte shade. It's like this orange, very pale orange. It's almost like blending into my skin tone a little bit. Let's go ahead and pick some more of it up, see if we can build it up on the swatch. There it is right there. I mean, as far as like pigmentation and payoff, it is a pastel palette, so how much can you really expect? And like going into this, I knew they're going to be a little bit lighter, so I'm not entirely mad. We'll have to see how they perform on the eyes. And then next up we have the shade Bubble, which is another cream to powder shade, and it is just this beautiful periwinkle blue color. I'm going to go in and do 2 passes of this. This shade is looking a little ashy on me, so we'll have to see what it looks like when applied, but I don't know about that one. Next up we have one of the shades I was most excited for, Limoncello. I love a good yellow shimmer like this. And build it up with 2 passes for you guys. And there it is right there. That just beautiful yellow shimmery color. Next up we have another duochrome that's called Duet, and this is stunning. I really didn't think I was going to be that interested in that shade. Let's make that swatch just a little more beefy so you can really get the full effect. It's like this blue, purple, pink, silvery color. It is so stunning. Alright, we're down to the final 3 colors. The first one is going to be Airy, which is another creamy matte color. Super light, baby blue. And then we have the shade Zest, which is another cream to powder shade. I'm going to go ahead and build that up with another pass. Very pretty, a nice little green moment, a bright lime green. And then finally we have the shade Feather. And Feather, let me swatch Feather down on the other end. Let me swatch it down by my wrist. I really didn't have much room there at the end. It was a bad judgment call on my point. Alright, and there it is right there on my wrist. These are the lineups of all of the shades in this palette. Tell me what you guys think about the colors in the comments below. Is this something that you guys are so interested in, or do you think that you've passed? Are you going to pass? What are your thoughts? Let me know. Alright, you guys are zoomed in even more now, and I'm going to take my ABH eye primer, and that's what we're gonna be working with today. I figure a really light base is probably going to be best for these pastel shades. So I'm just going to kind of put it everywhere, and then I'm just going to tap over it with my sponge just to get any excess off and blend those edges out a little bit better. Alright, so I got my eye primer on. I fussed with it for a second. I blended the edges, and this is what we're left with to start things off. And I think I want to dip into the shade Bellini, which is this creamy matte orange shade right here. It is like the most prettiest creamsicle pastel orange color I think I've ever seen. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to start building it up in my crease. I'm just going to take it all the way in. And I'm going to keep my eye, I think I'm going to do more of a rounded shape today. Yeah, I think a rounded shape for me. So I'm taking the brush and I'm just tapping it down around in that outer corner area and going in some circular motions just to set it down and then blend it out a little bit, and then windshield wiper motions bring it up into my crease. I think that this is giving just like such a pretty wash of orange, and I'm using a rougher 15, but I'm about to switch to a 16. This is another 15. I guess we're just like destined to use rougher 15 today. I wanted to get a bigger one, but I grabbed another one of the same brushes and dipped it in before I looked. So rookie move. So far, I'm not mad at this color. It's built up very nicely for like a pastel shade. I'm not mad about it at all. I'm gonna go ahead and match up the other side now. Next up, I'm gonna dip into the shade Feather, which is this pale mauve shade right here, and I'm gonna use that to kind of blend the edges of that orange. Do I know if that will look wonderful? No, but you know, we're here to test out these colors and see how they blend together. And honestly, I was really inspired by the looks that Natasha Denona created herself on like her Instagram and her YouTube, where she just like was mixing all of these different shades together that I wouldn't have personally thought to mix, and I thought it just looked so wonderful. I had to try myself, and honestly I think that it is looking very pretty. My camera battery had shut off, that's why I had to go, unfortunately, but you know, would it be one of my videos without my camera battery dying? No, it wouldn't be. But I had started building up the shade Feather in my outer corner. I'm gonna go in again with a little bit more on my Morphe M573 brush, and I'm just building that color back and forth motions into my crease, and I'm doing some circles now just to build up that color a little bit and blend it into that orange shade. I used my Dyson Airwrap, like the actual Airwrap attachment, for the first time today, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if it is made for somebody with my hair type. I love the round brush attachment to it so far. That has not done me wrong. And the smoothing brush, I mean, it's okay. I don't like it as much as the round brush for like a smoothing effect on my hair, at least. Because I don't know if you guys know, but my hair is extremely curly. If you would have been around since the very beginning and you saw the OG profile pic that I had here on my channel, then you'd know actually how curly I mean. And I mean extremely curly. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to play around with the different attachments some more and seeing what works better with what. Because I used the firm smoothing brush and I feel like it left my hair just like a little on the frizzy side. The round brush helped to smooth it out a little bit better. Like, I don't know. I like it the way that it made my hair feel, but I'm still not decided. I can always still take it back. It hasn't been 60 days yet, so I'm still playing with it, still deciding if it's really worth the money I spent. I'm going to take that Rougher 15 and I'm going to dip back into Bellini again and then build up some of that orange that we lost. So I'm going into the inner corner and going right into my crease and blending right kind of below and into that pink shade. So right in the inner, I'm kind of blending right where they meet, and then I'm going along my whole crease, kind of right in the socket, right below where that like pinky shade, the mauve shade is. And it's just a matter of going back and forth between the two colors, building up the intensity that you like. And I mean, with pastels, you're only going to get so much, but I still feel like going back and forth, building things up just to get the blend you want is very important. And like the whole like effect that you want to achieve is really important to do that. That way stuff doesn't get lost in the sauce, you know? So far I really like this palette. I haven't gone into any of the other shades yet, but you know what I want to do now? I'm going to take, what is this? Is this a 2? No, this is a Rougher number 1. And I'm going to dip into this a shade right here. It's called Bora. It's a cream to powder, like purple shade, but it's not as deep of a purple as it appears in the pan. It is a little bit more on the sheer side and comes across a little bit more pinky. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to pack it down on this outer corner. I'm gonna have to get a different brush. Let me try a different brush. Alright, this is a Rougher number 2. Let's see if that picks it up any better. It's a natural hair brush. I picked it up a lot better. And I'm just laying it down here on the outer corner. I feel like with the way that I had originally built up Feather, I feel like Feather and Bora could really have been interchangeable colors in the palette. At least like on application. They looked a little bit different in the swatches, which you guys would have already seen, but like on the eye, it looks like I kind of have the same color. So I mean, do we really need both? I don't know if I'm convinced that we needed both. I'm going to pick up the Morphe brush that I used for Feather, dip into it a little bit more, and just blend the edge of Bora. I hope it blend into everything we've got going on here so we have no harsh edges. What I like about this pastel palette is it's got all these different colors that I never would have thought to put together. Like pastel palette or not, like I wouldn't have chosen all of these shades to pair together, even in this look that I have today, like out of single eyeshadows. I wouldn't have thought to do that, so I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate the color selection that we have to work with. I'm noticing that it's not as easy to blend this as I would like. Like picked up a little bit weird in the outer corner when I started like blending at the edge of Bora, but I laid a little bit more down and I kind of fixed it. It still kind of looks a little like patchy right in here between like Feather and Bora, but you know, we're gonna keep moving forward. We're gonna deal with it. Now I have to decide what I'm gonna put all over the lid. My heart is telling me to go with Limoncello. That is the shade that I really want to play with. I was really excited when I saw that in this palette. I just think it's so stunning. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put limoncello all over my lid. I'm taking another Rephr number 2. This is a clean one, and I'm just picking some of it up on my brush, and just going to like paint it on. It is such a pretty, like, shiny, smooth, metallic. It's just so pretty. And you know, I really like how it looks with these colors. I'm just tapping with the other side of the brush and doing just like gentle back and forth motions just to kind of blend those edges a little bit. But I think I like that. I like that combination. Alright, so I've got limoncello laid down all over my lid. I had to go back in with a little bit more Bora, and all I did was I took it and I just built it up on this outer edge, and I kind of drug it down to the lash line and created like a bit of a thick liner. Well, it's not really a liner, but like, you know what I mean. It kind of brought it in at like an angle. You know, it took it a little bit along the lash line, just, you know, make it look a little different. You know, we're trying something new today. I really wanted to take some inspiration from how Natasha Denona was creating her own looks in her YouTube video with this palette and her Instagram stories and all of that. I really felt inspired, like I said before, from all of that. So I wanted to like step out of the box. But I am going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and then we'll come back and finish up the under eyes together. Alright, I have the rest of my face done right now. I'll go over everything I've used in just a second with you guys, but let's do this lower lash line. Let's get it done. I really don't know what I want to do. I mean, I have options. There are plenty of options, but I'm not sure where I'm going to end up. You guys might think I'm crazy, but I'm taking Zest and I am going to pack that on my lower lash line. I want to see how intense I can get it. I'm using a Rephr number 3, and I'm just patting it on below my lash line. This probably would benefit from some kind of base, but I didn't really think about that beforehand. Something like the NYX eyeshadow stick, like the milk one, that white one that they have, would probably have been really good for this. Even some more of my ABH eye primer probably would have been really beneficial for something like this. I just didn't think about it at the time. I just kind of went for it. And I had taken limoncello kind of into my inner corner as well. I don't know if you guys had seen that part, but this is how it's looking and built up. I mean, it's very different, but I like it. I feel like this whole look is so spring right now. I'm really feeling it. Final touches, I'm going to take just a hint of limoncello, and I'm going to run it above, well, not above, under my brow bone. So I'm just going to run just a little bit of it right here, just like a little hint of it, just to tie it all together. Alrighty, now all there's left to do is liner and some mascara, and we are all done with this look, guys. I have a yellow eyeliner from LA Girl. It's the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner in the shade Ice Creamin'. I want to see how this works. The blue one didn't really impress me that much. I can't remember whose video it was. They said that these were actually some really good drugstore colorful liners, and I had picked them up a while ago and I just like never used them. I used the blue one not too long ago and honestly was not impressed. So we shall see how this goes. Maybe I can like layer it up or something. it doesn't show up too impactful. My contacts are like killing me. Not killing me, they hate me right now. Like they keep bouncing around in my eyes, and I probably got like so much powder in them, it's not even funny. So this eyeliner is working way better than that blue one. Like one layer. That's one layer. That's awesome. They all perform a little differently. So next on my agenda is some mascara. I'm going to go ahead and put that on, and then I'm going to come back with my hair down and I'll tell you all the products and we'll wrap things up, and I'll give you some first impression, final thoughts. Alright guys, and this is the finished final look using the new Natasha Denona Pastel eyeshadow palette. Let me know what you guys think about this look I created down below in the comment section. I really would love to hear some feedback. I think it's really fun. Like, it's so different from something that I would normally do, and like it's so light and easy breezy. I think it's so pretty. I really want to do something like this for work tomorrow. I think I will. I feel like everybody at work would love this. So let me know what you guys think about it down below, but let me go ahead and quickly tell you everything that I used today. And of course everything will be down in the description box as well if you're interested in any of these products. So to start things off, I used Benefit Professional as a primer. I'm trying to get this guy out of my collection. I do not like it. So any excuse I have to use it, I'm going to use it so I can get rid of it. And then next up for foundation, I used the brand new NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I really do like this stuff. Like, my skin looks like glass. It is so pretty. It just sits so evenly on the skin. It doesn't accentuate any of my texture or anything like that, any of my dryness. And it has a nice, easy, like a flat out medium coverage. I love it. M3.5 is my shade. And then a concealer. The NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer is what I used. I used the shade Cafe Con Leche, which is light at 2.5. And then my powder, of course, I had to use my CoverGirl translucent Of course, I had to use my CoverGirl Clean Fresh Translucent Pressed Powder to set my under eyes and down the sides of my nose. It's my tried and true. It works really better than some high-end powders. Like, I've been getting everybody onto this. Everybody. Alright, a bronzer, highlight, and blush. So my bronzer that I used today was the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, and this is the shade Golden Days. That's the shade that I used for my bronzer today. I really hated this formula when I first got it, but now that I've played with it some more, we're turning a corner. And then I used a 2 ColourPop Super Shock Cheeks today for highlight and blush. The blush is a matte one. It's called Between the Sheets. I think it's a really pretty color. I thought it was going to be way darker than this, but it's very, like, more neutral than I thought. And it's so wearable. 10 out of 10. And then, of course, I'm using my Super Shock Cheek and Stole the Show for my beautiful highlight today. I feel like you can't go wrong with it. It's such a wonderful combination of products today. And then I didn't use a lip liner today. I was bold and I took a chance. But Fenty never lets you down. This is the Fenty Stunna Lip Paint in the shade Unattached. As you guys can see, it's like a neon pink. It's like a neon bright pink, and I kind of love it. It's got like a hint of coral. So I feel like it ties into the eyes really well, and it's such a statement lip. I feel like it's only fitting with such a pastel eye look. But that is going to be it for me, guys. Thank you for sticking around and hanging out with me today as we test out this lovely little palette. I really did enjoy it. There are some shades in here where, I mean, Mint Frost is a repeat shade. I feel like Bora and Feather, really, when it comes down to it, they're kind of interchangeable. And like, they look almost the same on the eye. And I mean, I'm sure you guys saw that as well. I'm definitely going to have to play with some more of these shades. I mean, next up, I really want to do a blue look. I want to see what Bubble is like, because Bubble stained my arm when I did the swatches. I kind of have gotten the stain off now with like several makeup remover wipes of different kinds, but it did initially stain me up pretty good. So I don't know. We're definitely going to be playing with it some more. You'll see this bad boy on my channel very soon. But until next time, guys, I thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. But bye for now.